Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Wednesday, the 19th of August, comes to you from London. Dollar's still sinking lower. Did find a little bit of support yesterday morning, but on the whole, we are bearish on the dollar, and we've still got these downside targets hanging over us. So, dollar weakness is a key. Remember, this is my long term, medium term, and short term view, weekly, daily, 60-minute. And corresponding point and figure targets. So if we look at the euro, that is sitting at 119.33. Aiming for this 120 level, which we haven't seen for a couple of years. So quite significant there, that euro benefiting from dollar weakness. And we've got upside targets here to about 1.5% higher. Against the yen, we're sitting at 105.52, and so that has just fallen below that 107 level it was sticking to for a long time. Sterling up further this morning against the dollar at 132.40, and we're seeing here just that rise in sterling pushing higher and higher. So that's quite key as well. Against the euro, we're seeing sterling at 110.96, so just increasing a little bit this morning. Numbers out for UK inflation higher than expected in UK, so that's having a little bit of an impact on the rate. Bitcoin falling back to 11,700, just couldn't hold on to that 12,000 level, so we are just turning back into short-term bearish mode, but the chart's long-term bullish. We still have these big targets in place on the long-term 1% chart. Looking at the S&P 500 index, this is the big news. It ticked up last night to close higher than the previous high. So we are seeing the S&P 500 index now making new all-time highs, which of course markets love from a technical standpoint. And the Nasdaq was actually down overnight, but it's still, of course, powering ahead. Looking at the Dow, we were down 0.25% here as well. We've still got some way to go before we make a new all-time high here. The futures this morning, the S&P E-mini is up 0.06 and the Nasdaq E-mini is down 0.02. So it looks like a flat opening at the moment. Given we didn't have a massive rise yesterday, it's unlikely we're going to see another one today based on the futures. The VIX volatility is sitting at 21.54, so that's still just sinking lower. Still much higher levels than we saw at the start of the year, but the VIX is ticking lower, which of course is good for stocks. UK stocks this morning, the FTSE future is up very slightly, so we're flat here. And in Germany, the DAX is little changed, as is the CAC Caron. So we actually are a little changed here as well. Looking at Japan, we're up 0.25% overnight, so not a massive change there. And the Hang Seng, interestingly, was closed due to a typhoon, so we didn't have a number there. And the SSE composite the Shanghai index was down 1%, but still looking very bullish. And the Sensex in India up 0.4%, still has some way to go to be making new highs, and only just getting above the cloud on the leg line on the weekly, so looking a little bit better there. We have got some upside targets here. What a 15% on that 0.5% point figure chart. The Aussie market was up 0.75%, so that's looking better. But again, still a long way to go to get to full recovery here. It was very heavily hit in the crisis. Gold sitting at 1982, just couldn't hold on to that 2000 level that we saw yesterday, but it is still bullish on all three time frames. The key thing now is we've got targets to the downside and the upside. It's which one will be activated. Neither is until we get a break to new. So a new low would activate the downside and a new high would activate the upside target. So watch that chart. We favour the upside, of course, because of the trend. Silver sitting at 27.34. That's off 1% this morning, but silver has really rocketed the last few months. And US 10-year yields slipping back to 0.66%, putting them back into bearish mode. Looking at the energy mix now, we start with Brent Crude. Brent Crude has been sticking to $45 like glue, and we've really been in this range now for quite some time. So targets in both directions, lots of uncertainty as to which way we'll go. Long-term targets are still up, but short to medium term, we've got targets in both directions. You have to wait for the break. WTI's level is about $42. We're sitting at $42.50 at the moment. And again, we do favour the upside slightly here. US nat gas continuing to power ahead. This was our bull call to clients this week. We're sitting at 242, so that's looking better. Coal sitting at $56, and then just having paused breath, maybe finding support on that long-term chart. Emissions falling back this morning to 26.43, but we do have quite a few upside targets here now, two that are activated, but we are seeing a little bit of a setback today. MBP had a strong day yesterday. We're seeing MBP breaking to new multi-month highs, and the fact that we're paused for breath and running again is bullish. Just waiting for this upside target here to be activated, but it does look like we'll push higher. TTF this morning is sitting 0.5% lower, but again, this has broken to new highs, and this is particularly true in seasonal gas, where we're seeing here new 4-month highs, so that's breaking higher and we've got good upside targets. But we're looking at a setback today. German power has struggled to hold this 40 euro mark. We did touch it briefly yesterday, but we've got this really tight range of 38.70 to 40.70, so that's the key to watch. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.